Okay, so I've mounted the rear differential with this little sub-assembly onto the back. All that I did was I welded in two 10mm flat bars, and I've placed this as close to the center line as I can get it. I really wanted to use the TT's cradling arms on the Golf, but it's too much work to make them work. You've got to cut this whole section out over here and make it structural. If I just show you what the arm looks like. To get the arm in the correct place, I need to cut this whole section out and then start welding again. And I just think it's going to come out like a pig's ear. To try and get the shape nice again, I just don't think it's going to work. So yeah, I'm not going to be using this arm. So now what I've got to do is I've got to scan this whole section in, and I've got to pick up these holes here for the upper and lower control arms that are going to come out. And I've then got to scan in this section and that section over there. And the reason for that is in the scan, it doesn't know where a flat plane is. So the scan can come in like this and come in like this. And what you've got to do is you've got to align that scan to your coordinate system. So I'm going to pick up on this point, that point, and this part here as a flat plane. In the scan itself, I need to capture this arch going all the way around so I can know where the wheel is. And yeah, that's it. Let's get scanning. Okay, so this is what the scan looks like. As I said, the important parts were to get these two bolts here, these two studs, and this side here as well. I've already drawn in the mount on this side, and then to get the origin as close to the center as possible, and I used this flat surface here to align the car body to the top plane. So the next step here was to get my location points, which are these two pieces here. That's where the upper and lower controlling arm will connect to, and obviously that point there. So what I found worked here was just to draw in a wheel, and then to locate the wheel as best you can in the wheel well, to get it centered this way, and then obviously this way, whatever your offset you want it to be. Once you've located the wheel, then you know where the hub's going to sit. To draw this hub, I had to get some dimensions off the original TT, so it was this point and this point, because I didn't want to change any of the geometry. I'd like to keep it as close to the stock Audi geometry as possible. What is nice though is that this is fully adjustable. You can change the offset of the hub just by changing these upper and lower control arm lengths. You can also change the toe in and the toe out. The only thing that I can't change is the caster angle, which I don't think is necessary. So to draw this hub, I scanned in the Audi TT's arm. I'll just show that here. So from this scan, I could determine the angle that these two pins would be at, and I could get an accurate dimension of how far apart they were. So once I'd done that, then I could continue drawing this arm. For the spindle, the Audi TT's spindle is built into the actual swing arm, so you can't use that. So I had to get a completely separate spindle. The spindle that I used, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to confirm what part number it is, but it comes with a 5x112 PCD, so I'd need to re-drill new holes 5x100. So once that had been drawn, I could insert it to the drawing, and I had to make a few edits to get in the right place, but then you can manipulate it and you can see how the suspension works. From there, I drew in the link rods, So these you can turn and you can change the adjustment. From there I could start to draw in the suspension. So yeah, next step is to start welding all of this together. So in my last video I showed that I messed up on the size of the hole. So instead of having it machined bigger, what I did was I ordered another one, but they cut the same profile again and the hole was too small. So now I sat with 2 plates with the hole being too small. So instead of ordering another plate, I just sent it to the machine shop and they've now stuck it on the lathe and bored it out so it's a little bit bigger. So to start assembling this, what I need to do is I need to put chamfers on these edges, and that's so that the weld will penetrate properly once these are assembled together, so that I can get really nice penetration on the weld in this area and along here. So that's the job for now, is to put 45-degree chamfers on. Just temporarily, I've just bolted in the pivot point, tacked it in there, and I've just got a couple of plates here just to hold this, just temporarily, just to weld it in there, just to see how this works. So the next thing I've got to do is cut this plate here off and make this hole bigger for the push rod to fit in. So that's the first swing arm tack welder together, and this is the second swing arm tack welder together. So what I wanted to show you was the hubs. So this is what the hub looks like when you first get it. Obviously we know the PCD is wrong, but another problem is on the back of the car the disc just doesn't fit. So what you've got to do is a little bit of machining and machine down this diameter here so that it's a little bit smaller so that we can get the disc to fit. Once you've got the disc fitting, then I 3D printed a little washer like this, and all that I did was I placed it like that and just tapped it with a hammer and made sure that mark was on the PCD that I had scribed on there. And then I drilled and tapped, and that's that hub done. So I've still got to do this one, machine it down smaller and drill the 5 holes. Another thing that I haven't done yet is to drill and tap this little M6 hole, and that's what holds the disc on. If you don't have that hole, it's super annoying because the disc keeps falling off. So that's another hole that I still need to drill and tap. I'm just going to do a little test fit and just make sure everything fits, and just see how everything lines up. So I'm going to stick it over there, something like that. So I still need to machine up the spacer that fits in there, which will then clamp together to hold that into place. I need to do for the top and for the bottom, and the same over here. So that'll set the toe in and the toe out. So this really needs to be shims that I can set to wherever I want it, and then just make up permanent ones. And then yeah, same again here. I need to have shims that'll fit in there, and obviously the correct bolts. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Stoked with it. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is the front suspension and getting that mocked up and tack welded together. But that'll be for the next episode. I've already started getting the sizes and the dimensions to start laying this out. But yeah, that'll be for the next episode. Thanks for watching.